generous and significantly beyond what they're obliged to pay. Now, that is how the government's describing the compensation deal that they've put together for people in Warwickshire affected by the planned high-speed rail link through the county, well, and the country, indeed. The deal says those living within 60 metres of the track will be able to sell their home for its full unblighted value, plus up to an extra £47,000. Clinton Leakes is head of external affairs from HS2 Limited, the firm appointed by the government to build the line. And this is what he told us here at BBC Coventry and Warwickshire earlier.
We're obviously using public money, so we have to make very careful judgments about what's the fairest arrangement overall. But I think an important thing to bear in mind is beyond 60 metres either side, what we've done is we've added what's called a voluntary purchase zone of an extra 120 metres. Now, that's gone beyond what are the normal legal requirements for schemes of this type. And anyone in that area, that extra 120 metres either side, in rural areas, people can come to us and say, I'm outside the what's called the safeguarded zone, but I'm still concerned. I still want to sell my home. I want to apply to you now to sell it so I can move.
That's Clinton Leakes, head of external affairs from HS2 Limited, speaking to me here on BBC Coventry and Warwickshire earlier on today. So let's talk to someone then who's going to be affected. John Levett lives in Burton Green, and the line will go straight past his house if it's built. John, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Lorna.
I'm sure you're jumping up and down with glee about being able to sell your house for its unblighted value plus 47 grand more.
Well, sorry, I'm afraid I'm not particularly impressed by what Clinton had to say earlier. I think he was exaggerating their generosity, actually, because many people may not be aware that for projects of this type, people whose houses are directly affected already qualify under statutory, which means enforceable terms, for the full value of their house, plus a grant of up to 10% to compensate them for the distress of having to lose their houses and move. Although it is certainly an improvement to extend that to a line of 60 metres from the track. Although, as I say, most of those properties within that band would have been taken anyway and received this existing compensation package.
How far away, John, is your home?
Oh, we're right alongside it, so it's at about 20 metres from the centre line of the track.
Is there a chance you would actually lose your home in the building of it? Physically
it's very likely. I mean, this is it's a good start, this compensation package, but we don't think it detracts from the fact that the whole project we think is a bad idea.
I remember, John, years ago now, talking to all the people that were blighted under these proposals for an airport at Rugby at the time, talking to people who were just heartbroken, absolutely heartbroken. I mean, a man's home is his castle. I mean, it's just...
Yes. Well, as it happens, we're in a stage where we really need to downsize our house. And we were preparing to move when the railway was proposed 2.5 years ago. So that sort of put a total stop on us selling our house then. So we were getting prepared to leave. You know, we've had a very good life here. We've brought up our 3 children here who have now left home. Our house is now too big for us, and we'd like to move. I think Clinton was a bit disingenuous, actually, where he was saying that if people have a need to move now, they can apply to HS2 or the government, and they will be able to move. But that is far from the truth. You have to have one of a very small number of criteria before you can qualify, and that will apply in the future for people who are further than 120 metres from the line of the track.
I assume downsizing doesn't fall into that category, John?
No. And actually Clinton got his facts wrong as well, actually. He said that there would be this zone beyond the 60 metres, which he said was an extra 120 metres of the voluntary purchase zone. Well, I've got the government's documentation in front of me, and it isn't an extra...
No, it's extended to 120 metres,
right.
Isn't it? Yeah, so a further 60 metres on top of the 60 already.
That's correct.
Which they've said they don't need to do.
Yes, but a lot of people in this area will be outside that voluntary purchase zone, but will still be seriously affected by the both the construction and operation of this railway, should it actually ever happen. And from most of the documentation that has come out, they will still have to be proving hardship before they can actually qualify for fair compensation. People are not looking for over-generous packages.
Well, you're not going to look for a lottery win out of this, are you, to be honest? I mean, it's not that, it's just a sense that you get fair compensation when...
That's right.
Oh, I mean, and honestly, John, it could be any single one of us listening to this now, that one day somebody draws a line through the countryside and that's your home blighted.
That's right. I mean, these proposals are certainly a good start. In our view, it was something that should have been announced 2.5 years ago. People would have been far less and far less sort of distress and anxiety had these proposals been announced.
Absolutely.
When the route of the line, which hasn't moved a great deal in those 2.5 years. It has in a few places to minimise the effect on some villages. Ladbroke, in particular in Warwickshire, has seen a significant, I think, improvement by the line moving further away from their village. But in many areas, it's not moved a great deal since.
Listen, thanks for talking to us, John. What's the next step in Burton Green's sort of... well, I mean, I'm assuming you're fighting...
Well, we are still following the campaign, really, that having looked into the detail of it, that from every aspect you look at HS2, it's a bad idea. But we're also looking into ways of mitigating the impact on the village should it actually go ahead. And our main idea is to propose a deep bored tunnel under this area,
right.
Which would improve the situation not only for here but also for Balsall Common, which will suffer severely by the construction of the railway, as it will be on a viaduct as it goes past that side of the village.
John, lovely to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. It puts a human face on it, really, doesn't it? And a lot of people talking about this, but it's true. It could just be any single one of you, or us. And you're living in Warwickshire, living in Coventry, doesn't matter where you are. If somebody decides they're going to do something, that's it. Puts a more human side on it of what people actually live through and go through in order to try to continue to live the lives that they live.